Messi. Oh my goodness. Just when you think he's done everything, he comes up with something even more special.
Nani.
And then Ronaldo! What a goal by Cristiano Ronaldo! Manchester City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero!
What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 7 of Soccer Card Collective. I'm Daniel. Bottom down there is Luke, and back in action is Vincent. How are you, mate? Welcome back. Did you miss us? Is the question.
I was constantly thinking about you guys. I was like, I need to get back home. I need my laptop.
We're on your mind when you're, relaxing, with the sun rays. You're thinking about your boys in lockdown.
Yeah, man, gotta support the boys.
That's it. Lukey, how are you?
Not bad then. You?
Good. We've got Positive in. How are you, mate?
Steve, what's happening?
So, I know you've been away for 2 weeks, and I feel like so much has happened in these 2 weeks. We've obviously had Ronaldo's first games. We've had Champions League round. It's been hot. It's been hot these last few weeks. So what do you feel like? Do you feel like you've missed a lot, or you've been keeping track? What's the thoughts?
It feels like I've been away for 2 months. So it's like a lot changes. I was able to watch I was actually on having dinner when the Manchester United game was up, and it was like more of a sports bar, so I was able to watch that. But yeah, card-wise or prize, I've not really tracked too much, so it's going to be interesting to see what happened.
Well, let's bring you up to speed, and it'd be very good to.
Even this Champions League and Europa League rounds from last week feel like so long ago. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I have no idea why. Even for me.
Yeah, looking
really
back to the scores, it's like going back to Spain. It's like,
yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a bit difficult when you're doing a show a week, and then you've got these midweek games and things like that. It makes it really difficult to go through. But I mean, in my opinion, Champions League is such a premier competition that we can't not cover it. It's my favorite. So let's go through it.
I feel like it's something that affects the card market a fair bit as well.
Yeah.
I think absolutely. I think it's the number one thing that affects the card market as opposed to EPL.
Yeah, and your domestic leagues. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's go through it. Sevilla 1-0 over Salzburg. If you guys want me to stop, let me know. There's one I'm definitely going to stop at. Is Young Boys 2, Manchester United 1. What were your initial thoughts when you saw this scoreline?
I thought, has this Ronaldo coming back to save Man United, and all the Man United fans saying, oh, we're going to win the league, has it hit them already after his second game? It was a shame to see Jesse Lingard make the mistake and concede them that second goal. But, Ronaldo did what Ronaldo does and scored again. But after the weekend, I don't know, it's sort of, again, we'll get into what happened on the weekend. But, yeah, it didn't look great, especially right after the game. I was like, oh, no, this is not looking good for United fans.
I guess this game here reminded me of a lot of Juventus games last year, where the only way we score is via Ronaldo, and we still end up kind of losing and not getting the performances that we want. And that's a game that they definitely should have won. But first game of the group, I probably wouldn't be too overly worried at this stage. Positive was in heaven, and apparently he was loving life. But,
I think he's a Liverpool supporter, so he doesn't. Anything
you
to
go.
do with Man United suffering, he loves it.
Lille 0-0 with Wolfsburg. A game that I thought was very, very exciting was Gossen's 83rd minute equaliser. I felt like that was a brilliant match. Not sure if you guys caught it. You guys might have caught the Chelsea 1-0 over Zenit. Remember that one?
Yeah. Lukaku
That's
scored
good.
again. Lukaku scored again.
Good head. Good
A game we should be winning at home against Zenit. First game of the Champions League campaign. 3 points, we'll take it. We move.
Juventus won over Malmo, a game that they obviously should have won. Another game I wanted to pause on was Bayern over Barcelona. 2 goals with Lewandowski as well.
I was having dinner. It was the same night with the Manchester United game, and there were a table behind us were two Spanish dudes, and one had bet money on Barcelona, and the other one had bet money on Bayern Munich, and they were having these side bets with each other, like who's gonna score the first goal, who's gonna score next. The guy who was betting on Barcelona was going nuts, was going crazy. The guy was yelling, the guy was shouting, the guy was going everywhere. But yeah, it was like this Barcelona team. I don't know, man. I mean, do you really have to be satisfied with having Brightweight, Luke De Jong, and then Memphis Depay as your front three? I don't know.
And then they got Jordi Alba playing in the center of midfield from the looks of that. I don't know if that actually happened, but
I cannot remember. I think I was too drunk at that time. But
in saying that though, about Barca, if you scroll down and you look at Bayern's lineup, like it's a level up from that Barca team.
Yeah.
All over the field.
I mean, damn, even Musiala. I mean,
yeah, he's looking good.
Yeah.
It's a good mix of experience and the younger guys as well, which is great.
Yeah, for sure. It's gonna be interesting to see what they're gonna do if Lewandowski disappears one day. And Miller, because they're both like in 30s. They're not gonna be there forever. So
yeah,
bit of a Haaland action potentially if he doesn't want to leave the Bundesliga.
Yeah, maybe.
This is an interesting flying V we have going on here with this formation. I like it. I feel like Barcelona they are what they are at the moment. They've stripped down their side. They're concentrating on a lot of the young kids and trying to find their feet. The manager, I don't have a lot of faith in. It is what it is at this stage, and they just need to get through this year and keep building, in my opinion. Dynamo Kiev 0-0 with Benfica. Besiktas and Dortmund 2-1. We had Jude Bellingham and Haaland both score. So if you're a hobby enthusiast watching this game, you were loving life. They are both darlings of the hobby. Bellingham, to be honest, has actually been on a little bit of a run. He's been doing quite well.
And the rumours around him and his possible transfer starting to ramp up as well with that.
To Liverpool, I heard.
Yeah, Liverpool. I heard United's in the running as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, to be honest, the shock of the round, in my opinion, was this one here. Definitely. Sheriff 2 over Shakhtar Donetsk. And I had a look at the value of players in Sheriff's lineup compared to Donetsk. I think it was a quarter, something like that. It was so small in comparison. And they got the job done. At the end of the day, they showed up on the day. They had more heart. They were playing at home, admittedly, but still, they had to get the result. It was excellent.
Wasn't it Shakhtar last season that like almost beat Real Madrid like 3-2 or something like that in the group stages? Jesus, yeah. The fake Cristiano.
Yeah, exactly.
What'd you call it?
The fake Cristiano.
Inter Milan 0 with Real Madrid coming away with the result there. I felt like Inter was a little bit stiff in that match. They probably should have come away with a draw, but unfortunately didn't. Yeah. Atletico Madrid 0, Porto 0. Club Brugge, is that how you say it? Or Bruges? I say Bruges. Who's
Brugge.
good?
Yeah, it's
Brugge.
good.
Brugge's better. I'll say Brugge.
There you go.
I like to be grammatically correct as much as possible. So they won all with PSG, which I think was an unbelievable result. I think that was fantastic. I watched the highlights, and to be honest, they could have even snatched a win in this game. They were all over them in patches during that match. I thought it was quite impressive.
Yeah, it was impressive how they were able to keep it up for so long. I was like, when the first goal fell, I was like, yeah, this is the floodgates start opening. But they kept their composure. They kept going at it, and they were literally on their heels. It was not like they didn't deserve that 1 point. It was not like they got it from some stupid mistake. It was just a good goal, one, and then they kept on going. And as you said, they could have sneaky got that win, but I mean, to be honest, it's a good win for Brugge, but it was a horrible game from PSG. If this was a PSG team that was 70%, then they would have won this game 1-3 or something. But I felt like this PSG team was like not even 50%. I felt like they were on the pitch thinking, oh, this is Club Brugge. Let's just score 1 or 2 and go home again. But it was a horrible game from PSG.
So I guess a lot of the questions that have been asked, and they've been asked in even by us on the Double Coverage Network, that, well, besides Luke down the bottom there, a lot of people don't really rate the Ligue 1, right? And I guess what they're saying is that when they play the Champions League, it is obviously a step up in terms of quality, and they can definitely go into that match cold. And I know it's been said to death, but is this an example of that?
Yeah, I mean, you always have these. That's what happens with these teams that are very good in their domestic league, and they're far beyond the rest. I would say PSG is a prime example. Like, for how many years have they been pumping money into this team? 5, 6 at this point. They only reached the final once, and they lost to Bayern. Admittedly, Bayern was just too good, but having this team even without Messi and still needing 5 years to reach a final of the premier competition in the world domestically, well, with clubs, then I think that says it all. Like, they have no competition in the league. They can win every single game 4-2 in domestic league, win that competition, and that's it. But if you go into the Champions League and you face people like Bayern Munich, even Club Brugge, I mean, I think that's true. It's an example of how not having enough competition in the league hurts you in competitions like this.
Yeah, definitely. But in saying that, though, this PSG team on paper should be, with all due respect to Club Brugge, like that PSG team on paper should be beating them.
But that's why games are not won on paper.
Exactly, they're won on the pitch.
Yeah, and vice versa. You've got teams like Club Brugge who step up for these games. You know, they've got a lot less to lose, and that lack of pressure and geeing up for these types of games is telling as well. You know, and then that again is something that's not really put on paper. Another really good game was Liverpool-Milan. This was a game that I felt like it was going to be a draw, and it was going that way. It was an exciting game to watch. And then Jordan Henderson absolutely almost tore the net off with his goal. It was incredible. Yeah. It was incredible. Not much to say about that with Liverpool. Positives happy in the chat there. But I was impressed by Rebic, and obviously a player that doesn't really get much hobby love is Brahim Diaz. I think he's going to have a really good season. He plays in that attacking midfield role, and Rebic as well. Like he's not really an exciting player, but he gets the goals, and he got the goals this morning for Milan against my club. But anyway, we won't talk too much about that.
I think he scored like 3 goals in 3 games now.
He's been very good, sneaky good. Yeah. And performing well in Ibrahimovic's absence as well. But another player who's been on fire is Mo Salah. He's been excellent, and Henderson's goal was just incredible stuff.
No one is really talking about Salah, but he's been scoring 20 goals a season consistently since forever. It's like strange how people not want to see it, how people not see it, how people don't want to talk about it. I don't know, but he's a beast.
I don't know why. Maybe because last season was a bit of a down season, and that's when the hobby really took off. Maybe potentially overlooked him, but
Could be a
who
reason,
knows?
yeah.
Who knows? 6-3, Man City getting the job done over Leipzig,
Cool.
and it's quite a few. You got Mr. Jack Grealish in there as well.
Everyone's
But look
getting
at that!
on the score
Look at
sheet.
that! 3 goals.
Hat-trick.
Gonna take that. I know they lost 6-3, but you know.
You still take the hat-trick.
The second biggest surprise I felt like in
bro.
the first round was this one here. I cannot believe that Ajax won 5 over Sporting Lisbon.
That was a shocker. I had Sporting way up there, but it's Haller, man. Haller was really upset. I think he wanted to take revenge of that missing out last season with the filling in the wrong forms, or they were too late, like getting included in the team.
The fax machine.
Yeah, something insane happened. Like, he was mad at this game. He wanted to destroy Sporting, and he did, like 4 goals. I think it was a record, something like first time. I don't know what it was, but I mean, first in Champions League game for a team scoring 4. That's
incredible.
mad. Sporting was pretty poor too, but 4-1, 5-1 is a bit harsh.
Crazy stuff. All right, we'll move along to last week's results in the EPL, and we start off with your team.
That's what we want to see.
Chelsea over Tottenham. And we had N'Golo Kante. I love seeing him on the score sheet.
He didn't even know what to do when he scored. He didn't know what to do, the poor bloke. You just see from those stats there. I unfortunately didn't get to watch this game. I actually haven't even seen the highlights yet. I haven't even seen the highlights yet. I've been that busy. But, 20 shots says enough. Everything else looks pretty even. But, yeah, if you're creating 20 chances on goal, you're doing something right. And 3-0 against another team that's going to be up there challenging for the title and Champions League spots this season. It's definitely good to see.
Yep.
I'm happy to see Kovacic starting. I'm a big fan. And your game on the stream was Manchester United over West Ham. There was a little bit of controversy towards the end
definitely.
Of this game here.
Definitely a controversial game. Dom was up and about, rightfully so. Look, there was 2 penalties that were, I'm not going to say clear cut, but they were there. In my opinion, they were there. Both on Ronaldo. It wasn't even looked at by VAR to go down the other end. And I can't remember who was defending. I can't remember who gave away the penalty now. But a handball, it wasn't contentious. It was there as well, but was checked by VAR and given a penalty for West Ham. Where Noble, who was subbed on to take the penalty, then missed the penalty. It was an average penalty, but again, you got to credit De Gea for that one. He's been in great form this season for United. But to be honest, I think these games should have ended a draw. It's just one of those results again. Like, United haven't been convincing. It was a good stream, positive, wasn't it? It wasn't a convincing performance again from United, but again they've got into 3 points. So to be honest, at this stage of the season, I'd rather be seeing performances than getting 3 points every game. But if you're getting 3 points, you're getting 3 points. So it says a lot. Yeah. It says a lot.
Yeah, it's one of these games where everything like fits together if you're a Man United fan, like missing that penalty, Lingard scoring that screamer.
Yeah, that was a great finish.
It's like, and they missed the penalty, and he scored a goal that like he's not gonna score every single week, and they get the 3 points. So it's like, it's one of these things. It's like a FIFA game, you know. It's like being West Ham playing against this Man United team, and somehow you still lose it somehow. But good win for Man U.
Man, CR7 cannot stop scoring. It doesn't matter how he's scoring. They seem to be jamming goals, but at the end of the day, he's putting the ball at the back of the net, so you can't really...
He's doing his job at the end of the day.
It's worth the same as a screamer. So, I mean, the people that they kind of are dissing it, I'd probably tell them to check themselves, to be honest, because I think, you compare him against other players in other leagues of lesser quality, you can't doubt him. Can't doubt him at all, unfortunately. Brighton 2-1 over Leicester. That is a game that I was a little bit surprised by, as well as Aston Villa 3-0 over Everton. Very strange results there. Liverpool.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Everton started quite well, haven't they?
Well, where are they on the ladder? Let's have a quick look. So they're 6. So
that was their first loss.
Win, draw, win, loss. So yeah, that was a bit of out of left field result. Exactly. Liverpool 3-0 over Crystal Palace. Any comments on that game there? Again, Mo Salah on the score sheet.
No, I didn't see it, unfortunately. Nothing to say.
Man City 0-0 Southampton. These results that can sometimes happen.
One shot on target.
One shot on target from 16. Says a bit. 64% possession, a lot more passes. At home as well. I think that's 2 points lost for City, really.
I think it's strange to see how you can have high pass accuracy, high possession, high passes, and still only have one shot on goal at home against a team you should beat like 3-0 or 3-1. It's like you can give a billion passes, but I mean Bernardo Silva, Jesus Sterling, Chile. Yeah.
So that's Sterling playing through the middle.
Do you feel like that's a good spot for him, Sterling?
No,
I think
from the side.
I think Ferran's play. I think Ferran showed this season that he should be starting as that false nine, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Jesus is one that probably wouldn't get a start. I've said before that I like him. I've sort of changed my mind watching the first few games this season. Now more about how everyone else is playing, like Sterling, Grealish, and Ferran, how well those three have been, how good those three have been. So yeah, Jesus probably misses out for me in that front three.
Yeah. What else have we got? Arsenal get the result. They're churning out the results now, aren't they? Odegaard with the free kick. Besides that,
shit, they actually won. Damn, I missed that one.
I know you didn't get up early for that one. There, that's 3-3.
Burnley's had more shots of them.
Yeah, that's right.
They still won though.
Do not look at their lineup just this weekend.
There we go.
A lot of players back to. I said this. I wasn't in this stream, but Doma and Sauce were watching it on live. I said that this is arguably, besides Ramsdale, this is arguably Arsenal's best team on paper for me.
Yeah. Gabriel White.
Yeah, that's arguably the best team on paper. So away at Burnley, I don't know how Burnley played. If they just sat everyone behind the ball, I'm not too sure. But yeah, you'd probably be hoping for more. I would.
Burnley. Didn't look like it. 18 shots.
Can you go back to the lineup? What actually happened to Lacazette? What's wrong with him? Oh, he's still on the bench.
Didn't come on.
Okay, because I would swap. I would take Pepe out. I would swap Saka with Pepe, get Aubameyang on the left, and put a real striker up front. I think that works better.
That could work, yeah. That could work too.
Yeah. All right. Arsenal won a game.
I like what Positive said here. City should have bought Kane.
Yeah.
That seems to be the issue, and it seems to be telling when you look at that. When you look at that possession and you look at like a shots, that just tells me that the link-up play between both, a player to be able to hold up and bring other players into the game and play off him, is lacking somewhat. Watford 3-1 over Norwich. Brentford 2-0 over Wolves. That is very surprising, especially considering the games that the performances I've seen that Wolves have played. They haven't necessarily been pulling away the results, but to lose 2-0 Brentford, and Brentford got a red card there.
At home too.
Brentford is a good team, though.
You reckon?
They're low-key good. Like, their striker, Ivan Toney, he's class.
Okay. You scored the goal?
Is that no shots
Yeah.
on target as well? Go to Wolves? Yeah.
Yeah. For
So
a
it's
Premier
a lot of-
League,
lot of
that's supposed to
possession.
be very exciting. There's not many shots on target, I'll tell you that right now. But anyway, Newcastle 1-1 with Leeds. Move over to Serie A. What everyone's here for, let's be honest.
We've got the game tomorrow as well.
Yes, absolutely. 1-0 Torino over Sassuolo. A few of our boys in Sassuolo's team, Vincent, we've got Raspadori and I've got Scamacca as well, both of them not getting the result done. Fiorentina 2-1 over Genoa. That was a pretty good result for Fiorentina. They're probably even-ish sides and they've done quite well there. Now, I want to bring this up, not just for the result, and I can't click on that button, so I can't show you a bigger version, but this top was amazing by Inter. Have you seen that jersey?
It looks really good. I did have a quick
later.
look after it. I had a quick look on it after the game. It doesn't come with the sponsor on it though. It looks a bit funny without the sponsor. I'll be honest. Usually, sometimes a sponsor can make or break a jersey, and on this one, it definitely makes it for me.
The sponsor is their crypto, their fan
Yeah, the
token,
crypto. Yeah, but I don't know. It just looks so much
cool.
better with it. Yeah, it just looks so much better with it on the jersey than just plain. Yeah, they've definitely done well with this.
I would never, ever, ever be caught dead wearing an Inter jersey, but I tell you what, that one's pretty close. Because
I say that the black and yellow one from a few seasons back, with like the retro Nike symbol, that was a pretty good one too.
That was very good. Now 6-1 over Bologna. What a game this was! They absolutely annihilated them. Lautaro Martinez was all over them, and Edin Dzeko was. He seemed like a player reborn. And a player that was really, really good in this game was Dumfries on the right.
I was literally I was going to wait till you finished. That was going to be my player for this game. Yeah, I thought he played really well.
He set up most of the goals. He was incredible.
He had a chance to get one or two himself.
Yep.
He was in and around the mark. Yeah, he had a great game.
Also, the one who scored for Bologna was a player who used to play at Ostende like 2 weeks ago. He got his move to Bologna. Yeah, Theater. Oh, wow. He was an Ostende player and he did a move to Bologna and he scored. He's a defender.
That was a very good goal as well.
From the Pro League to the Serie A and scoring against Inter. Not losing 6-1, but still scoring goals. Not bad.
Take that. So Inter not really slowing down from last season, even though they've changed so much of their team. Their director Marotta is one of the best, directors to scout talent in the world. The way that he did that at Juventus was something to behold. And then he's obviously moved to Inter and he's just killing it there, has been able to manage the salary cap quite well, if you call it a salary cap. Atalanta got the result over Salernitana. That probably wasn't a great game for them, but they still got the result done. Sampdoria 3-0 over Empoli. Spezia 2-1 over Venezia. Lazio got a disappointing result against Cagliari 2-2, and Verona got the win.
Second game in a row now, isn't it, for Lazio?
Lazio, yeah, they haven't been doing all too well. So they lost the last game and they drew this one here. So not great. And Verona, you know what? Verona in this game over Roma 3-2, their goals were absolute belters, all of them. To be honest, I think it was more Verona stepping up to the plate than Roma doing, a great deal wrong.
Did everyone play for Roma?
Yeah. They, like Tammy Abraham was starting. Pellegrini, Zaniolo. They had a really good team. And you just mentioned it, Pellegrini. He is having an absolute belter of the season, and I have been looking at his rookie cards. In all honesty, I've had a look at the Immaculate. Very cheap, like they're just really cheap. I think that he's flourishing under Mourinho. He's doing very well.
25, 26, isn't he? From memory.
Yeah,
I
he's
did
not,
have-
he's not a young
Yeah,
rookie
yeah.
by any means.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Could he go to the World Cup next year
Potentially,
in this form?
if
You
he
got to take
keeps
form
this up,
players. You got to take form players. So
if he takes
Yeah.
this, keeps this up.
still a while to go, but never know.
Then there was this game this morning that.
Did you end up watching it?
Yeah, I watched it all. I watch most Juventus games as much as I can, but Juventus started this game like a house on fire and came out the second half, with what felt like two less men. Dybala was phenomenal. Morata as well. That counter attack, and he was able to beat Theo Hernandez for speed to get the ball in the back of the net. I felt like that was great, but second half, I don't know what is going on with this team. I think it's mostly the midfield. It's just not great. I mean, Locatelli, Rabiot, Bentancur, and Cuadrado. There's a lot to be desired there, and at times, game in, game out, Chiellini and Bonucci can be found wanting sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes, unfortunately.
How come was the lid on the bench? Did he?
De Ligt's on the bench, and the explanation was that there were midweek games and they wanted to rest him, right?
Okay.
But Raiola in the media did come out and say that he may not be staying at Juventus long term, and
Okay.
I think Raiola needs to keep his mouth shut. In all honesty, like we're in September still. Why is he opening his mouth? In all honesty, I don't understand at all. He was even mentioning Romagnoli as well, potentially going to Juventus, and he's fishing around his players like crazy. I understand that's what he does, but very frustrating to me. Very frustrating.
How was Leao as well for Milan? One of my boys.
Leao he had a quiet game. Leao.
Yeah.
Diaz had a quiet one as well. Rebic got on the header. Tonali had a really, really good game. In honesty, I felt like he was fantastic. And Tomori keeps on putting in really good performances. So look, it was a grinded out game.
Was a game played mainly in the midfield? Because if you're saying like Tonali's having a good game, I see it as one of those.
It was.
I guess.
It was, yeah. Yeah, it was. Absolutely. And we'll move over to La Liga. Have a few games to quickly get through. Villarreal. Sorry, guys. I completely lost my place. Here we go. Cadiz 2-1 over Celta Vigo. Rayo 3-0 over Getafe. That seems like an interesting result. 0-0 Atletico, and I believe João Felix got the red card in this game. Yes, he did. Yeah. 78th minute.
What did he do? I didn't see.
I don't know.
Where is he? Did he come off? Did he come off the bench and get sent off? Oh my god.
2 yellows. Jesus.
2 yellows. When did he come on? If you go over the arrow, does it say when he came on as well? Oh no.
No.
Oh, good. Diego Simeone is furious, and I don't blame him.
What's he doing?
The Wonder Boy.
Here we go. Timeline. We'll be able to tell you here. But I don't know. He just cuts this frustrating figure lately. He doesn't seem comfortable at all. Maybe he needs to move to another club.
Maybe he needs a club.
He kept on whining about his previous yellow.
Oh my god, you idiot.
Oh wow. Come on.
I don't know. That's not good enough. He came on 60th minute. There we go.
Yeah. It's come on in 87.
He had all of 15 minutes on the pitch. That's terrible.
Is that good enough for my cards to go up 15x? No, I don't think.
He was yelling at the ref.
There you go. 10 seconds, 2 yellows. Man, I don't know. I'm not entirely convinced. I never was with João Felix. I don't have any of his cards, and he's just so hit and miss, man. He's just so hit and miss. If you compared him to Haaland, he's performing week in, week out. This guy's not like.
No, I think that's a bit of a stretch comparing him to Haaland.
Well, initially he was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I even mean back then though. I feel like even at the time, it's a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, true. Elche with Levante 1-1, Osasuna 2-0 over Alaves, Mallorca and Villarreal 0-0. There's a lot of 0-0 results in this league. Real Sociedad and Sevilla 0-0 as well. Betis 2-2 with Espanyol, and Valencia, Real Madrid. This was probably the game to watch because Valencia has been very good as well this season. And these two boys here, Vinicius and Karim Benzema, Benzema teed up Vinicius and Vinicius returned the favour in the 80th minute. So 86th minute and 88th minute were back-to-back goals pretty much to get the result for Real Madrid. So not entirely convincing given that, they didn't do it all game, let's say. But, I mean, it looks like
Did Vinicius come off the bench as well?
Let's have a look. He did not. He played the whole game.
He started. Yeah, but it just shows he's continuing that form, getting involved with the assist and then scoring himself. He started the season very well for me.
Absolutely.
Benzema, another one of these players that keeps on scoring goals.
Yeah,
no one's talking about.
Not appreciated. He's been doing it for so long as well. It's not like he's coming out. It's not like he's coming out and just started scoring goals now. Like he's been doing it for such a long time.
Yeah.
In the Champions League, in the league as well. Like,
everywhere.
Yeah.
So that was
I thought maybe it was because of that lack of international football he was getting with the France team. But even when he played at the Euros, some people sort of got around it a little bit. But
he's now included and Giroud isn't. So I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he has to do to get some appreciation.
Yeah, I don't know.
So that was La Liga. We'll move across to the Bundesliga. There's two teams that we always look at. We've got Dortmund. Is that the latest result there? 4-2 over Union Berlin. There we go.
Yeah.
Haaland scored the last one. I didn't see.
Is that the? Now I thought it was 3-2 for some reason, but there must have been another goal there somewhere that Haaland scored. There we go. Here, 83rd minute. But that was a pretty good goal. It was a bit of Ibrahimovic action there with that scissorish type kick that he scored.
It was nice. I'll give him that one.
Cool.
Keeps on scoring.
No what I'm supposed to say. And they keep conceding too. They've conceded another 2 there.
Yeah. Against Union Berlin. It's not a unbelievable team. Another
God, look at this one.
Another game to talk about is Bayern Munich over Bochum.
Choupo-Moting, there we go.
7-0.
Is that guy still there? Oh, Jesus.
Did he start? Did he start as a Christian? No. Came off the bench.
It looks like Upamecano didn't start either. He might have come off the bench. I know he had a little bit of injury
15
concern
against 0. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, wow. It looks like an absolute battery.
676
the scoreline reflects it as well. Jesus.
Yeah. And I'm actually surprised that Lewandowski only scored 1. Decided to spread the love.
So we saw him Champions League and this game here. Is Sane a player we should start looking at now in terms of cards, considering his massive fall off from what he was, when in the boom last year? Considering he's going to be in and around, Bayern's going to be, in the later stages of Champions League, the way they're going. In the league, they're going to do very well. Is Sane maybe a player we should be looking at, especially if he's going to keep getting starts?
If he can get back to the form of City, sure. He was when he was at his peak at City, it was unbelievable. But then he had this injury, and it's not always easy to play in his Bayern Munich team either. But maybe he's a good shout. Yeah. Would you look at Sané over Gnabry?
I personally would, just because we sort of know where his cards can get to. Gnabry did have a bit of a run up as well, but I personally like Sané a little bit better. That's just my opinion. Okay. What do you reckon?
I mean, they both play for Germany, so it's like, I don't know. Maybe I would go with Sané. Maybe. Yeah. I'm not sure what the prices are of their more desirable cards.
I haven't looked recently, to be honest. That was just a thought that I had there because I saw he scored again, and after we looked at Champions League results as well, something I'm definitely going to look at. I'm going to have a look into it during the week, and I'll come back next Monday and we'll talk about it.
Perfect. We might even bring it up while we're going through our players.
We could do it.
And you're absolutely right, Positive. I feel sorry for every single team that has to play Bayern every week. Terrible. Over to League One, the last games for us to go through before we get into the hobby. PSG 2-1 now. They got the win, and Mauro Icardi, which is a player that I really, really like, got the goal in the 93rd minute. But I think this game was all about Messi and being withdrawn from the pitch, exactly right, and not shaking Pochettino's hand. Not good signs. Not good signs.
After they scored the goal as well, I think something happened after that as well.
Really?
Icardi scored and Messi didn't really seem happy.
It's interesting times, especially this far in. And when you compare it to Ronaldo and how he's sort of flourishing at United, or flourishing at least in scoring goals. We'll say individually he's flourishing. As a team, maybe not so much, but it's interesting their contrasting starts at their new clubs.
Now, Japan Sports Card is here for the Ajax talk. I think we said last time we weren't going to go through them. But you know what? Since you're asking, let's have a look at what Ajax did last week.
Japan Sports, there's actually one Ajax player. I'm going to talk, actually, if we're going to go into young players, I'll talk about him.
You know what? Let's lead right into it. I think that's probably a good transition. There we go. There we go.
Oh
that's
my God.
I thought Bayern was an absolute belting, but it looks like Ajax.
It's here for a reason.
Ajax has mate. We were talking about Ajax before in terms of a drumming in the Champions League, and it looks like they continued that on in the league. Incredible result, 9-0. Jesus.
If you want to go lineups there for a sec, who played? Oh, the guy I'm talking about is not there. That's great. Go down. Was he on the bench?
Yeah, I know what you were going to talk about.
Who am I going to talk about?
I forgot his name for a moment. Anthony.
Nah, not Anthony. No.
Not Anthony. Oh, okay.
Do I start or are we segueing?
Let's get straight in. Let's get straight into it. That's a good segue.
The player I was going to talk about is I forget what his first name is. His last name is Rensch. Rensch. He's the fullback for Ajax. 18 years old. He's been subject to some rumors that he might be heading to Barcelona. I don't know how soon that's going to be. I did check out. I'm still doing, very preliminary research and stuff on him. But I did have a look at some of his cards that are going. You can pick up his Sapphires, the base ones for like $1 or $2 US. It's got the RC on it. He's a fullback. A lot of the highlights I've been watching as well is he pushes quite far up the pitch. So he's one of those fullbacks that I like to talk about, those almost wing backs that really get involved in the attack. A player I like, a position that I like watching, and a player I'm looking at picking up some cards of, just because they're extremely affordable. $1 or $2 US for a Sapphire. Even the numbered ones, I don't think I saw any that were over 10 US. So it might be, again, do your own research. This is only preliminary research for me so far. If Japan Sports Card's still there, feel free to leave your feedback as well.
The question is, are you going to pay 3,500 USD for one of his cards?
No, I'm not. Just to put it briefly, no.
Make an offer. Let's make an offer.
I'll give him $20. But hey, one day that might be worth a lot of money. We'll never know.
So if he's linked to Barcelona, it's the first I'm hearing of this. What does that say for Serginho Dest?
I think he plays the opposite side.
He does? I thought it was right back. Okay.
No, I thought he was left. Maybe I'm wrong.
It's all right. Bit of competition's always good.
Yeah. But yeah, could be an interesting play there.
Good pick. Go check him out.
Again, as we always say, do your research.
He's a right side.
He's right back. Okay.
Yeah.
So what does that say for Dest?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Dest is right back, isn't he?
He's right. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not really that impressed with Dest. I understand he's American and all that, but
So is that sort of where that's coming from? The hype around him.
maybe. I don't think his performances match up with the hype. He brings out a good performance every now and then, but not anything amazing. So I understand why they're looking elsewhere. And Ajax is always a source of talent for Barcelona as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's good. Vincent, do you have anyone?
He's 18 as well, by the way. Just chuck that in.
18. That's the hobby age, isn't it?
I was going to say, that is the age.
Not. I mean, I didn't really have anyone in mind, but looking at this Ajax team, Anthony is a right wing. I kind of like him. He already gave 2 assists this season in the Champions League. That is, he scored 1 goal in 3 games in the Eredivisie. So he's 21 though, so he's too old for the hobby.
He's washed as the hobby.
Yeah, he's over and done. But he's one of these guys that came from Sao Paulo, went to Ajax, and I mean he's very exciting to watch. So I can see him moving to a bigger club in the future. Again, Ajax is not really that type of team that keeps their players; they sell them on.
Yeah.
So I really like this guy.
He's got a fair few cards out as well. It looks like he's in all the major sets for tops this season.
Yeah,
like
he also plays for Brazil, which definitely helps. He played for the under 23s. He scored 5 goals in 12 games, so he's been scoring goals for the Brazilian national team as well. He's very exciting to watch, and he's currently valued around 25 million euro on transfer market. So he's one to watch because I like these wingers, especially if they can ball. He's a real baller.
I rate it.
Good stuff. I'm not looking at anyone of note lately or anyone to speak about. So I'm going to keep the cards close to my chest, let's say, and see if I've got anything for you next week. Now, there we go. Japan knows about him.
Yeah. He played 6 games in the Olympics. I think he played every single game, not every single minute of every single game, but he was definitely one player that was involved in that national team. So it's already huge if you can play all the games for a national team under 23s, but it's a segue into the first team. So,
and what was I going to say? The Brazilians tend to take their Olympics a lot more seriously than other nations do. So take that what you may. Now we do have a question come up, and we've been called out a little bit, Vincent. So I felt like this is a very good time, especially since you're on and you're the guru in this area. So the question is for champions.
Buy my course now, only $19.99.
Why not? Why not? It's a 10-part course. You have to pay about $300 for each, and you have to pay in Ethereum, and it has to go straight into his So Rare account as well. So Champion of Sport on Instagram, go check him out because I did have a look, and he's got some brilliant cards on there. Brilliant vintage cards. He's from Melbourne, yep. Yeah. So big supporter of our show. He said, "Are you guys into vintage soccer cards?" And he's called us out. He said, "Rarely hear anything old on your show." So, you know what? Let's bring old into Soccer Card Collective. Let's bring it. Are we into it? And let's start a bit of a conversation about vintage. And I'll let you get rolling. Vincent, tell us your thoughts.
Okay, so when I started collecting, I start with modern, which was a mistake, to be honest. Or a mistake. It's always easy to say afterwards. But it's like when you hear people talk about vintage, they always say it's like the blue chip. Like it's the first thing you buy. It's like a Tesla stock, an Apple stock. And as soon as you have those, you can start going into different areas of modern. You can like go out and scout some players, put some gambles. But vintage is basically the blue chip. Like if vintage doesn't go up in price, then long term, it's not gonna boom. It's not gonna 50x. Well, it can happen. We saw that in the prison boom and this in insane market we've been in the last 2 years. But normally it's the cards you buy for 50, let's say, and in 20, 30 years they go up like crazy, like we've seen. Compared to modern, where you're basically gambling, you're speculating. Like as soon as Haaland scores 2 goals, his price go up. You're not gonna have that with vintage. Cruyff is not playing anymore, so he's not. The only reason why he is going up in price is because the whole market goes up in valuation, or something happens around him. We've seen that with Maradona cards as well. He died, or he passed away, to say it properly, and his cards went up because all of a sudden there's attention to him, or if there's a documentary. Same with Jimmy Greaves. He also passed away. So I'm pretty sure there's going to be more attention towards that player and his cards, and he's not playing anymore. So some of these players need some kind of help somehow to get their cards go up in price. Now, vintage is also boring, I would say, because they're not playing anymore. You buy them, and it's not like you put on television every single weekend and there's your player. So it depends on basically what you want to do. If you only want to invest in players you can also watch, then vintage is not for you. If you like more of a background story, more of history, if you're more interested in how it used to be, then vintage is awesome.
You're going to say something, Luke?
Yeah, sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh, I was going to say, you know how you were saying stuff sort of happening to them to bring attention to them and sort of raise their stock, we'll call it. Do you think getting into coaching or managing is a way that could also raise that?
I think it is, if it keeps him relevant. If it like Zidane, he's been the coach of Real Madrid, and that's why he's still relevant in today's culture. His goal, like his famous volley, is still in the Champions League like pre-video. And people still talk about him. Like it's awesome. Now it's a good question, because now Patrick Vieira is also coach of Crystal Palace, and I'm not sure if it's doing anything to his prices. So I think I would say yes in an extent, but you have a lot of ex-players who are now coach and no one really cares. Like Henry is the T3 of Belgium. He used to be at Monaco for a season, I think. He flopped there. He wasn't all that great. But yeah, I mean, it can help. I think if you're a legendary player and you become a coach, it helps. Not saying that Patrick Vieira isn't a legendary player, but coaching Crystal Palace, I mean, they're not going to be in the Champions League. They're not going to be in the Europa League. They're not going to be anywhere besides the Premier League. So but I think it can help. It's not maybe 10% or 20%, but it's not going to make your cards go from 15 to 500 just because you're a coach. I don't think so.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean. It's sort of just a point there.
Yeah, but it's a good question. It's a question I've been asked a lot, to invest in a player like Zidane or Henry or anyone that becomes a coach. Ancelotti, I don't know, some of these older guys. It can help, but it's not going to be a driving factor of price.
Yeah.
I like what you were saying before about blue chip, because it's very similar to the way that I started out approaching soccer cards. So I saw a lot of parallels between the stock market and was able to try to construct a portfolio with a core of blue chip stocks or blue chip cards, and they focus primarily on vintage. So I did gravitate towards what I liked. So I picked up a lot of those 2006 World Cup Italian teams, and then I went further back and picked up the Bajos and the like. And you're very right. They don't see huge swings up, but they don't tend to see huge swings down either. I have found, right? You probably less so in the 2006 Messi and Ronaldo's. They have had those swings, but it's interesting. It's that's kind of how I've surrounded it. So I've had those blue chip, and then I've had little plays that I've done here and there surrounded. But the majority of my portfolio is in that middle range, and they're kind of surrounded with little things that I can muck around with. And if they tend to go down, then they don't really affect my overall portfolio. But I also feel like as soccer cards, I feel like we're really at the start of what soccer cards could potentially be, even now. And I feel like with more and more people coming onto the market, they've got that nostalgia, and I feel like the nostalgia may be the thing that would drive those players up. It's like the rising tide raises all ships in some regard, and they go back and pick up. I know you're a big Pavel Nedved fan. He's big for me in his Juventus, and memories from his performances, and obviously got the Maldinis, Fabio Cannavaro, like a lot of those players that meant something to me because I was in high school when they were in their prime and winning World Cups. And then the Brazilian team in 2002 World Cup before that, Ronaldo, the Brazilian Ronaldo and things like that. I feel like that may slowly, like you're saying, bring people into the hobby and slowly raise those vintage cards. But I definitely agree with you in that you don't really see massive swings up and massive swings down either, because they're not in your face every week and they're not getting injured either. They've got their results, they've got their trophies.
Yeah, one thing that people sometimes mistake is if you say it's a blue chip investment, that automatically means they cannot come down, because we obviously seen in every market. So blue chip doesn't mean it's never going down. Blue chip just means that if it comes down, just by the nature of the player or the nature of the investment, it will pick up back over time, just because it's a Messi, it's a Ronaldo. Now, I wouldn't call Messi and Ronaldo vintage because they're still playing. That's my only rule. If they're still playing, it cannot be vintage. But that's just me. I would call vintage pre-1970, because 1970 was like the turning point with the World Cup. That's when Panini went heavily in stickers as well. So I would say everything before 1970 is vintage. But yeah, don't just think because you buy a Pele, the price can never go down, because it definitely can
go down. I just want to get my thoughts on this, because to be honest, I don't own a lot of vintage as much as I want to. I tend to get caught in this comment right here. Positive summed it up perfectly. Dan, if you can just get it up here. He said, I'm into vintage. It's hard to find the cards I'm after, or the prices are crazy. And I feel like this is definitely a position where I get stuck in a whole lot, especially if I want to buy, like, a player I was looking for not too long ago was Azzurro 2006 Mega Cracks. And I didn't want to buy one raw because, to send it off the PSA these days, it costs you like $200 or whatever it fucking is these days. It's not worth it. And then to buy one graded, it's like the cheapest one listed on the market is $500. I'm like, I don't want to spend $500. Like, I don't want to spend $500. It's a bit much. So I understand where people sort of swing towards modern just because it's so much more accessible. But like it's all the things, I can't disagree with any of the things you said. Definitely loading up on those legends, especially when you can find one maybe on bids one time, or it's definitely a good idea to get involved in that stuff. One that I this isn't really vintage, but a card that I just really wanted to keep for like a long term that I think is a blue chip was Ronaldo's first Madrid card. So it was a 2009 Mega Cracks. PSA 9, I missed out on it. I think it ended up going for like $100. It was something. It wasn't much at all. But I look back at that now and I'm like, damn, that would have been a good buy then.
It's hard, calling him vintage when he's playing at like 38 years old, 36 years old.
I'm not calling him.
He's got to be vintage. Like
I'm not calling him vintage. That's definitely not. But to I don't know. I sort of look at it. I look at it a bit differently to what Vincent does. He was saying like pre-1970. I look at vintage as like, for me, being like 24, like people who were sort of finishing up their careers when I started watching in like 2004, 2005. They're sort of, I don't know, I see them as vintage.
No, I'm actually saying I agree with you, because
you do? Yeah,
because he's who else is playing, when he's maybe Ibrahimovic as well, but there's not many players.
No, not at all. Yeah, that's the way I look at it. I thought that was a great comment there. Positive put in there, summed up my thoughts.
But you were also saying about grading, right? And I want to get your thoughts on this, Vincent, as well, because obviously a lot of those cards aren't in fantastic condition or the quality control back then, even on cards that were kept relatively well, still aren't going to get fantastic grades at PSA or the other grading companies. How important is a 10? Is it important at all?
Just to add on
Go
there
for
as
it.
well, something I'm worried about is if it's actually real, like if the card's real or not being that old, especially if it's in like a good condition. I don't know. It's just something I get a bit worried about. Yeah.
Okay, so is a 10 important? Not at all. Finding a 10, I think, would mean that it's a fake. Like going back, if we're really talking vintage, we're going back to 50, 40, 30s. You know, like that's, for me, that's proper vintage. Even before that, but let's keep it 30, 40, 50. Like there was no incentive to fake these. Like they were wildly available. Like they were put in albums, and that was the whole point: put them in albums and collect them. That's why you see a lot of these Van der Hout crafts, for example. They have like they were cut out of albums, and so they have back damage. But sometimes it's so hard to find one that's the best alternative, and that's why sometimes even having a PSA 2 or 3 can mean the difference between having it raw for 50 or selling it graded for 3 for 5,000. That's why I also like the vintage stuff. Like it's sometimes so hard to find, and even getting a 2 is like, that would mean it almost be a 10, you know? And that's why I also like vintage, because it's not created scarcity. It's just natural scarcity. Over the years, like I have a car that's over 100 years old. Like that's insane, knowing that it survived all the time, 2 world wars and whatever happened, whatever country that card came from or whatever, or where it was during those times. That's insane. Even to say I have 100-year-old card, that's and that's not created scarcity. That's not like every single year there is 10 one of ones and 50 one of tens. You know, that's just because it survived that long. So I would say for modern cards, what we've seen with the Ronaldo sticker, like they're getting fakes everywhere. You're not gonna see fake, probably like 1 or 2, but you're not gonna see 150 rare crafts getting graded by BGS. You know, so I would say in that regard, I would say vintage is safer in that regard. But obviously, when there is money involved and a lot of money involved, there's always gonna be people that want to take advantage of other people by faking those stuff. But I would say for me, vintage is more safe in terms of fakes than modern.
What was your take on the Ronaldo BGS scandal? Let's say that Soccer Cards Rock brought to light.
I mean, at one point, if the population goes up by like 10% over like 10 years, and all of a sudden there's 150 extras, where where do they keep coming from? It's not that one guy all of a sudden finds one on like 300 boxes and he rips them. Well, it could be, but what are the chances? And then they all get graded.
Can you have like 300 boxes sitting up there?
Yeah, so I mean,
these.
At one point it becomes like quite obvious that there is something going on. I'm not sure if there are fakes or not. You trust a company like BGS to know what they're doing and to call it out. Like, damn, we've just graded 150 of the same rare Ronaldo stickers, and they're all real. That's why
if you think about it, it's literally their job to say if it's real or not.
Yeah, it's their job, and
they have one job.
Then you need a community to point out that it's fake. It's like that's not why we pay you guys so much for grading. So that's why I don't really like BGS anyway. But so it's it's not really. But yeah, it becomes obvious pretty fast that if it's about a rare sticker and there's all of a sudden 150 in 2 weeks or 2 months, I'm not even sure, then there's something going on. So it's a shame that stuff like this still happens, and especially in a market like this. Like if it happened like a year ago when no one, or 2 years ago when no one was really caring about it, but now you have a whole community that like does research and is on top of it, a lot of content creators. So I don't know, I think it's stupid, but BGS is BGS, I guess.
Just on that, Vincent, as well, if you say you had a vintage, say I'll give you an example just because you might not think it's vintage. Say you had a I don't know. Say you had that Ronaldo sticker, the rookie sticker. Which grading company would you be sending it to?
I would send it to PSA.
You send it to PSA? Yep.
And if you had a fake one, it sends to BGS.
PSA or PSA or SGC.
Yeah.
I wouldn't send it to BGS. But probably if you have a real one and you think it great well, then you still pay the enormous PSA fee and put it in the PSA slab. If you don't really care about the monetary value and you want some aesthetics, I think SGC slabs look great. So that maybe, but if I know it would grade like an 8 or a 9, I would definitely send it to PSA.
Because I've heard that, I don't know if it's true, but SGC are known for grading vintage better. I'm not sure if that's I don't know if that's just a
Tougher.
myth or
tougher.
yeah.
It's true. They've been doing it for a long time too. Like the real vintage stuff, and they've graded a lot of them.
Yeah.
So I trust SGC with vintage. I just sent 2 crafts to SGC, and I'm pretty convinced that whatever they put on the grade, if it's a 1 or 2, I don't care, an A. But I pretty much trust them that it's the right call, I would say.
Yeah.
And I think one of the major issues that people have when they're getting into soccer card collecting, and they have a good understanding of basketball and the way that things work, and the prism and Topps Chrome and all the rest of it, and they kind of find themselves a little bit lost. So how would you tell, they want to get into it but they don't know where to start? How would you approach it?
Yeah, vintage in that regard is not easy because you have so many different releases and so many different companies that don't really exist anymore. Like a Van der Hout release, no one know. If you're not into vintage, you never heard of Van der Hout. But that's a very important craft release. So I would just start with a player you like, and then just try to find on maybe eBay the earliest releases on PWCC. The earliest sales, and then go from there. You can also, there's a 2 interesting books you can buy. Not sure if I can say it on the stream, but there's 2 interesting books you can buy.
Go for it.
So let me take it. I got him right here. Give me a sec.
Just make sure they're giving you a cut for saying this.
While you guys are there, I might as well show you this one here. This is a really cool one you guys should be checking out. This is from the 2006 World Cup Merlin set. This is Cristiano Ronaldo's rookie World Cup sticker, if you call it that. There are a couple of those, and they're also, I've got the Messi versions. Some sneaky plays. I got the whole box for 90 AUD, and I ripped all the stickers from it, and I got some brilliant stickers. Brilliant. Like they've got parallels within there. Parallels in stickers, brilliant stuff. So
everyone seems so fixated on the Panini one, but that one there's.
Again, I think it's because they know Panini. Whereas Merlin less so, but
now with Topps and Merlin, Topps doing their Merlin, so maybe it was something that I think I spoke to Vincent about. I might have spoken to both of you about it. When the Topps Merlin came out, I was like, I wonder if this is going to sort of bring light on the older Merlin stuff.
Because that's similar to the way the new cards look. Like they've got that square border and things like that. So I think
that's really cool.
I've got the Messi as well, so I'll bring it next time. But I think that's maybe a good one for people to check out. Let's have a look at these books.
Nice. So this is the first one. It literally has all the most of the popular ones, like all these sets with the whole background of where it came from. How it was produced, released, if it was important, if it wasn't important. So very, very important one if you really want to go deep into vintage. Now he also has a second one. This is more all over the place. So he has cricket. He has not F1, but the old racing cars, as you see, like right here.
Oh yeah.
So he goes much deeper, and he also has a I'm going to show you. He has like a rarity scale. So if you buy a vintage card, so he has these stars. So if you're looking to buy vintage cards and you see a card and you know its name, you can look up if it's actually a rare card of that set or in general. So Very, very good informative books. Like it's not something you find online. It's literally only in these books. If you want to dig deeper.
R9 Goat is also recommending Soccer Study. Says that's a good channel to check out vintage.
Soccer Study is more about pre-modern. He talks more about the era of Ronaldo, Messi, Maldini, those types of players. He's not really too much into vintage. He knows about vintage, but I think his content is mainly about pre-modern. So, but yeah, sure, he's around longer than I am, so I'm pretty sure he knows more about players from that time than I do. But yeah, he's a good channel to watch, sure.
And sorry, go for it, Vincent.
Damn, these Merlin things are hard to find. There is not many here.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I probably shouldn't have ripped the boxes now. In hindsight,
Really?
I didn't know there was so little of them around, so I probably should have kept them encased. But
there's like 6 or 7 listed. 2 of them are graded.
Oh, are you saying the stickers, the Ronaldo stickers?
Yeah, the Ronaldo sticker. Yeah.
I'm gonna get them graded eventually. I was gonna go PSA, but then the price is I just didn't want to do it. So I might go
listed for $500 US.
Yeah, I might go SGC with these ones.
They reckon it's a pop 3.
Really?
Yeah, and then the 9 at SGC is a pop 1.
Because this one here came out of the pack with a rip on it, right? But I've got another one upstairs with like actually scented a lot better and doesn't have the rip, obviously. And I've got a Messi very similar as well. So they've just come out of the pack. Brilliant condition. And I've also got a Ronaldo and like Figo. There's a lot of fantastic players in there. So and there's some brilliant. If you check out the I might as well bring it up. I've got the ability to do it.
6 Messis are listed as well.
So I just want to show the Messi 2006 Merlin, and again, this isn't vintage as per what Vincent was saying, but this is what I was talking about. So this is the Messi version of that, and yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I would much prefer this Ronaldo because the imagery is a lot better than the Panini. That's the boxes that it comes from. That's the stickers.
So that's actually $300 it got listed for. I think I got a Messi 2006 World Cup Panini sticker. It also SGC 8, and that's only going for like 160 or 170. So either mine is undervalued or this one is overvalued, or I don't know. But just to give you a reference, I think my was like 160 or 170.
Well, we're not looking at 130 point. People can list their cards for whatever they want to. And,
sure. Sure.
I don't mind the idea of listing your cards for a lot more than what they're worth and just waiting for offers.
Sure.
So that's potentially what he's doing. But this is the Beckham I was talking about.
Oh, wow, nice. Some of these. Get up one of the foil ones if you can, Dan.
This one, yeah?
The Ronaldo. Yeah, there it is.
How cool is that?
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I've got 2 of these. I've got 2 or 3 of these.
Oh wow!
I'll take you guys through my collection one day. I've got them somewhere.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Actually, I've got them here. Give me 2 seconds.
Oh, this is 2006 as well.
So look at this Zlatan as well. Like they don't have the rights to all the teams, but
I was gonna say they're not. They're not looking fish, especially for the English stuff. Oh no, Sweden's not licensed for the English stuff. I reckon this is cool.
I thought I had them here, but I don't. But I've got the I've got boxes of Euro 2004 here.
Okay.
So yeah, good stuff to check out. Now we'll move on. We're going to talk about the state of the soccer card hobby as we sit right now. I feel like we went through a bit of a down period, maybe a little bit prematurely than people had expected, probably in line with the Euros, let's say. Like it was kind of like the Euros were starting and then we had that massive drop off where people were kind of expecting that not to happen. Have you guys been paying a little bit of attention in terms of what the hobby has done since? And I've got slab stocks as well for us to check out some cards that you guys want to throw at me.
You start, Vincent. I'm just saving a whole lot of these Merlin stickers onto my watch.
Well, you can buy them off me, man. I've probably got all of them if you want, but we'll see.
We'll see how we go.
Yeah, I mean, after the Euros, I think a lot of people expected something different from the Euros. But after it, yeah, I think there was a little bit of a dip. I think people also trying to look for different players. The names I've been seeing getting thrown around or in Facebook groups, like I'm looking for this type of player, that type of player. Some players I've even never heard of. So people are trying to find the next big thing again, I guess, or buying more what they like. But I looked at these prices briefly before coming on, and some players dipped, which is normal if you don't really perform. There's always going to be players that go up as they start playing. But there's still a lot of things that don't make sense to me. I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about this Pepe guy pretty soon. But stuff like that is like...
Wait, who are we talking about? Wait, what?
Oh, you don't know about that one?
Haven't you see it? Yeah, we definitely have to talk about that.
Absolutely.
But there's still players that go up. Yeah, I guess you did.
You'd be something big.
There's still players that go up like randomly or because one guy posts about it or stuff like that. So in that regard, I guess that's the modern market. It just goes everywhere. That's why I don't really mess with modern, because it doesn't make much sense to me. But that's just me.
Give me some players to have a look at on slab stocks.
Joao Felix, maybe.
Just add on to what while you're looking that up. One player in particular was Adeyemi that I talked about a few weeks ago. Like his stuff's doubled. He scored a goal a game. He was going at a goal a game in the
you have to push few data. Oh yeah, okay.
He was going at a goal a game, and his cards had really started to move. And like I even saw one today on bids. It was a Merlin out of 50. It was already at $140. I don't think it was close to finishing either. So yeah, people are definitely looking in those sort of, I guess they're sort of niche in those like small pockets, but definitely looking away from say like the Prem and like the Prem and La Liga and stuff like that, and really starting to focus in on some smaller leagues.
If you look at
they don't seem to be looking at Serie A, which is disappointing.
You don't reckon?
Not really. What were you saying, Vincent? It's a massive drop-off.
Yeah,
no doubt
about it.
Yeah, basically. So, I mean, people were
Is that
probably...
a base?
Yeah.
I guess we've seen, I don't know, for base, I guess we've seen a fall in sort of all base across all different markets for cards. If you can get the refractor, that might be... I expect this to be down, though, too.
Shit.
Wait, what? That's 3 months, 6 months.
Oh, that means that there's not enough sales data. That there. Oh, maybe 1 year.
Up.
Yeah, gone up.
Probably hasn't been much happening.
There
since.
Probably hasn't been one sold for a while.
Yeah, which doesn't make sense because he's not really doing anything.
Go Vinicius.
That's a good one.
So I think you can go optic base for this because.
Yeah, you were on it.
Because optic was the still a short. Oh no, it's not.
Down.
Go down.
Down.
Yeah, down.
Yeah.
Oh right. There we go.
So for this one, I'm expecting low and then up around the Champions League last season, and then down again, and then up again towards now.
Yeah, basically exactly what you said. No,
there we go.
Yeah, that's pretty close actually.
Yep.
July.
And
September.
What's that? That's sorry, I'm reading things backwards because that's how Americans do it. They do the month, the day, and then the year, which confuses the hell out of me.
How do you do it in Europe, Vincent?
Sorry?
Do you do day, month, year in Europe?
Yeah, Damon year. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I think it's an American thing to reverse
is it?
it.
Yeah.
I think so.
they're the only ones who don't use the metric system. They're all over the shop over there, to be honest. So you're looking
Still,
at August.
Yeah, 88. Then they go
Yeah.
down to 76, and then they spy. Obviously, with the goal, probably because it's the most recent one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, basically what you said, like it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, goes down. Just because he scored a goal, it goes up from 76 to one. What was it? 110. I don't know with this market, man. You have to get these cards out in like seconds if you want to catch the new high. And in I don't know, it's for me for example, it's going to be impossible because I have to ship my cards and it takes a while before they ship. And if I cannot ship it like instantly from where I live, and that's Belgium, it takes a week to the States. So it's almost impossible if you don't have the cards ready to go. But like playing with only $30 margins, it's difficult because you have to take out shipping and fees and all of that stuff. So if you want to catch the high from the previous high, it's super hard.
It's hard. It's especially hard for us. Like we've talked about it before, being international and away from the States. We just send it to ship my cards and we get charged extra there. Then there's the waiting time, and like you might miss out on catching the high. So it is definitely difficult for us.
I don't mind the play that Saucy was saying, especially with cards like this, where you've got the Donruss and the Optic, where you send it straight from your eBay listing to StarStock and your StarStock account and look to flip it there.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
They do soccer?
Yep, they have.
They do. Okay.
Yeah.
That could be interesting. I haven't had a look enough of a serious look into it, to be honest.
We've been plugging a lot of shows. Surely we're going to get some kind of sponsorship somewhere.
We'll give them a segment.
And while I'm doing that, I might just get this bad boy up. Do you know what it was, Vincent?
I think if you do this, then it will pop up probably. No?
Just Pepe? Yeah. I don't imagine there's too many Pepes.
Oh, this is the American guy, yeah?
It's the one.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so soccer. So they've got the Mbappe on there, the Messi. Rookie Messi, Pulisic, Chiesa's on, Rashford. So let's see if they actually show you a little bit about this. So you've got, is it even got the Optic?
Of them in the vault. Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, for the Donruss set in particular, I feel like you can do this a fair bit. It's obviously got the Foden. That is PSA 10 for 50, one for sale from 450. Last sale was 700, so that's dropped off dramatically. 6,500 for Green Velocity.
Him being injured has really hurt his market, as it probably should, I guess. But that might be one to have a look at right now, to be honest.
That's a big drop off.
Yeah.
700 to 450. Yeah, so I mean, I'd check it out. I think it's a good shout.
Yeah, I reckon it is too.
It's particularly if you're outside of America.
Yeah.
I think if you're looking to flip these days with the grading costs and the like, that's why things like So Rare appeal to me and slab stocks and Star Stock. It just makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Yeah, anyway. You don't have to worry about all that extra stuff.
Now I can't find the sale, but what we're going to be looking at.
There's an 8K card too there. Yeah.
First order.
The first auto red refractor. I believe this guy still plays for Dallas, so it's not like he's over in Europe. I think he plays for Dallas. I'm not sure though.
I believe he does. Yeah.
Do we have some info on him? Sort of
so he's 18. Oh yeah, maybe you can pull up transfer market, but I'll. So he's 18.
Do you reckon they have him on there?
Yeah, sure. I'm looking at.
I'm joking.
Okay. He's playing for FC Dallas in the MLS. He has a contract until 2026. His market value is €2.5 million. So it's isn't that? He plays for the USA men's national team. He played 1 game, scored 1 goal. And in the MLS this season, he played 24 games, scored 12 goals, gave 2 assists. So he's a center forward too.
It's not a bad return, I guess.
No. So
Am
for
I
the people
paying
who
$5,000, $8,000? No, I'm not. But jeez,
So I think that the sale that caught everyone's attention was the Super Refractor 1 of 1, which went for 15,000 USD.
oh my god.
yeah.
Okay. So for an MLS player, I understand he's 18 years old, but that is is that music that's coming out of the screen here? What's going on here? How do I mute this? Can you hear that, guys?
Yeah, go right click. Mute site there.
There? There we
Just
go,
in
mute
case.
side. There we go. Sorry, guys, that was really distracting for me for a second. So, you're absolutely right, Positive. 18 and American, see you later. Price through the roof.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I keep on going back to it. If Freddie Adu was in the MLS, the hype that he had was actually much higher than what Pepe's is. At 16 years old, making his debut in the MLS. Imagine what his prices would be if Pepe's going for 15. Now, he may well be a really phenomenal player. Who knows, right? But at the end of the day, he hasn't done anything in Europe. And to be honest, that is where I measure talent in the top leagues against the top players. Now, if you're paying $15,000 for a player who could potentially move and then fizzle out, you've got a lot of money.
Yeah, definitely.
Also, he's
Definitely.
5th in the top scorers list, so he's not like the 1st or the 2nd. He's 5th in the MLS top scorers list at the moment standings.
He's just youngest.
I don't know, but does that maybe mean we're overlooking MLS?
It's a good point because I have invested in
Yeah.
MLS. I must admit, I've invested in MLS. I've picked up a few of Kaden Clark's rookie cards,
Mm-hmm.
and I picked it up because I had a look at a few of his games. Very, very good player in my opinion. He's got potential, and he was very cheap. So if I lose that money, I'll lose that money. No big deal. It's only a few bucks. But $15,000 US is not a few bucks. And Japan says Pepe's a big deal because he played against Honduras in the World Cup qualifying game. Okay.
Yeah, that's that one game with 1 goal, probably.
As per Positive 1 game.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find while you're talking, because I remember I can't find it because it was a while ago. But there was a low-numbered, I can't remember if it was a 101 or low-numbered Kai Havertz in a PSA 10 that sold for roughly the same price, I believe. It wasn't far off that. If it wasn't 15, it was no more than 20. That's a player who's, a little bit older, but he's playing at one of the best teams in Europe at the moment in the Champions League.
Won a Champions League,
yeah. And that's a similar price to this guy here. So that's a bit wild. That's a bit wild.
I do understand the American thing, like the patriotism, like if you just all you need to do is look at Pulisic cards, right?
Yeah.
Like if you think that you've got the next Pulisic, you're going to have some people that with a lot of money that goes, all right, if I lose $15,000, big deal, but I just don't see it. There's so many better places to put $15,000 than there. And I understand Japan, like they're looking for a striker, but like you don't fit a square peg in a round hole just because you think that's going to eventuate. Like it doesn't happen like that in the soccer world. I hate to break it to a lot of people.
Yeah, and even the next Pulisic, I mean, what has he done? Nothing.
As I said, Pulisic has played. I just checked then because I just wanted to be right. Pulisic he's played 1 Premier League game this season. I understand. I think he's injured at the moment, but he's played 1 game.
Surprise!
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, but I mean, it's It's something strange, man. It's something I cannot understand. It's like buying every single Belgian player because I'm from Belgium. I understand that the American market is different in that regard because there's a lot more Americans and they want to throw money at it. But that's why I don't really understand because he's an American guy. I mean, there's gonna be a lot of young Americans coming through now with all these academy improvements and all of these partnerships and more attention comes to the MLS. So I'm pretty sure a lot more Americans are gonna hit the European scene pretty soon. But then having to invest in basically every single striker or forward because they come from the MLS and they go to Europe, it's gonna take a lot of money. Good luck with that one.
I've got a comparison as well. That makes that Doku for 4K we talked about a few weeks ago. That makes that cheap. If this guy's 15K, that Doku out of 5 PSA 10.
I don't know. Doku's not really
grand.
scoring goals, and he had like that one breakout game in the Euros where he didn't score a goal.
I feel like in comparison to this MLS player, I feel like that is cheap compared to this.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, true. Yeah.
This is a comment by Pedro. So the comment is pull these up because that's the quality of investor in the market. That's a warning. That comment there is a very scary comment, right? It's a comment that talks a lot to the soccer card market in America in particular, which is following hype and American names. And I feel like a bit of that has happened.
Like how can a player go up in value if he's not even starting? Yeah. Like he's just there. It's like investing in the third tier, in the third goalie. It's like, sure, he's there, but he's not doing anything. It's not like having a.
It's probably a bit different for you, Vincent, because Belgium actually like decent at playing football. That's like us buying Australian players and then being worth $400, $500, $600 when they're crap. Let's be honest, they're crap. It's ridiculous.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't understand it, to be honest. I don't understand it. But I get like the patriotic thing. Yeah, I understand it. But come on, man. When there's money involved and when there's $15,000 involved, I think I could put my patriotic side to the side there at 15,000.
R9 Goat, modern will crash heavily. Not only US players. Look, in my opinion, every market's going to have some element of crash. So I don't agree with that in a lot of respects, because if you look at this individual player, we're talking about somebody in the MLS who can very well go to even a second division side in EPL and still bomb out, and there's no telling that he would or wouldn't by his performances so far.
I don't know if crash is the right word, but like ebbs and flows always.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as people start realizing that you can put your money elsewhere and that makes more sense, then, I mean, again, a lot of people want to see their players play, and that's the whole thing behind buying these cards, because they can see these players play. As long as that's involved, then sure, prices will go up and down as they perform. But to say it's going to crash, sure, I mean, it can always happen, but...
Yeah, I love this. I love this comedy. I'm American. I saw a video where an American was buying Olajuwon cards because he saw a quote that Africa is an emerging market. They will have money soon. This is a play.
I swear to you, that's a Gary Vee quote. Gary Vee has been talking about Africa becoming one of the richer countries in the world in the next 10 to 20 or 30 years. Like he's been on it he's been on it for a while. That Africa is going to have I'm not sure how to call it, like a rise or a scourge up in the air in terms of wealth or whatever the case may be. So that I'm pretty sure that's Gary Vee that's been on it for the Africa becoming huge train for a while.
So be it, but I would much rather put my money in an emerging markets share portfolio, focus on emerging markets around the world, rather than an Olajuwon card, hoping that is going to equate to cards going up. If you're willing to throw your money away like that, I'll give you my BSB account number, and maybe you can give it to me.
Get Japan's comment up for a second.
Cahill collectors.
See, I'm not talking
well,
about Team Cahill. I'm talking about our modern team right now. It's not very good. Team Cahill is good.
He's the goat, man. Like,
Exactly,
was it?
he's the goat down here.
2010 was it
I'm not
2010
talking about
World
Team
Cup?
Cahill. Don't worry. I'm not talking about Team Cahill. I'm talking about now, like the team right now, not that
Yeah.
golden generation.
At the end of the day, Tim Cahill scored an absolute screamer against Netherlands in 2010 World Cup, where Pepe hasn't done anything yet. So I mean, I still put Tim Cahill, Tim Cahill above, and I think that's the point Japan was trying to make in order. He's taking the piss as well. Let's go through the comments a little bit because we've been hit up a little bit. That's the intelligence level of the average person in the card market. That's why we've got Soccer Card Collective, because we're trying to raise the intelligence of the market. The party's just started. I agree in terms of soccer cards. They've been saying that about Africa in finance since 2009. Pedro says
that's what I mean. I mean, sure, it can be, but it can also not be. I mean, it's like gambling on a whole nation, on a whole continent, to all of a sudden go crazy. I mean,
that is some next level gambling right there. We start gambling on countries' economies.
Yeah, that's beyond me. That's not for me.
As I say, that's out of my pay grade.
Yeah,
that's it.
Carries perspective.
He's not 15k good, no.
No, I think we've absolutely smashed this kid's purchase and hopefully become something good. Like
you know what we say, buy what makes you happy. If that $15,000 purchase made you happy, I'm all for it then. Do I think it's a good idea in terms of investing? Maybe, probably not. But if it makes you happy, do it.
Yeah.
Don't forget
racist undertones. Hey man, for all I care, they can become the wealthiest continent in the world. I don't care. It's just crazy to think that you invest in a whole continent to all of a sudden rise and then base your investments on it. That's a bit wild.
Your soccer card investments. I think that's
as well. It's
a bit too macro for me.
It's not the first thing they'll think about. Let's say like their whole economy booms. They're not gonna think, oh, now I have to buy soccer cards because I have more money. I mean, that's I cannot see it.
You never know, because I mean that might not be a bad investment when you could probably flog it off to another investor in America as well.
So someone's gonna clip this, and in 15 years they're gonna bring this back up to Vincent.
Remember but look, the thing is,
sure, I hope so.
When people are spending millions of dollars on monkey NFTs, is 15,000 on a Pepe rookie card 1-of-1 that out of control?
Steal.
Sounds like it.
Steal of the century.
Sounds like it. All right, guys, I think we've spent enough time on that one. We'll finish this up with what you guys are looking at in the soccer card hobbies. Wax, is it, eras? Is it particular cards? I'll let you guys just take it. What are your thoughts?
For me, I haven't been looking for a whole lot. I've been studying a lot, so I haven't really had too much of a chance to look at much soccer stuff. But as of next week, I'll be back better than ever, I'll say.
Good
back
stuff.
into it.
Nice. I've not really bought too much. I was thinking about trying to make some kind of collection of game tickets where in games Haaland scored, but it's like he scored.
Tickets there.
Yeah, he scored like every single. It's hard to keep up, so I'm not sure if that's gonna be my strategy.
Maybe Champions League games.
I better buy like a season pass or something because he scores like every single game.
This is just out of my own curiosity. What is like the price of an average? So say like a Haaland ticket like that. What is the price of one of those?
I think the last one I bought was the actual price of entry, so I think it was €15.
Okay.
I think the ticket was. So the guy just asked the value of his ticket plus shipping, which is I think is really fair if you don't really care about a random Leverkusen Dortmund game. I think the Ronaldo debut against Newcastle was 500. So that was pretty crazy. Maybe in the grand scheme of things, that would have been a steal. I didn't buy it. But
And where do you find these usually? On eBay as well?
eBay, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Sometimes eBay, sometimes you have literally have to go to fans pages on Facebook and try to message people from there.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, game tickets mostly. Yeah, I also bought some Merlin stuff that we can do pack wars or whatever that thing is called with. But that's basically. I also bought some video games. I've been buying video games as well.
Are they graded already, or are you planning on grading them?
I missed out on a graded Grand Theft Auto Vice City, $2.
Oh, what a game!
I missed out on
$2.
$2. Yeah, I put it in 195 and it was 997. So I missed out on $2. I was at holiday, so I couldn't keep track on it. I just put 195, thinking it would never reach that. But yeah, someone else was thinking the opposite. But yeah, I missed out on that one. I did buy FIFA 2004, which was the first game Ronaldo featured in, which I thought was an interesting take. And he also has Del Piero on the front. He has Henry on the front and Ronaldinho, so it's an amazing cover as well. I think I paid $20 and it's sealed, so I think that was a steal.
Yeah, I definitely like the graded games.
It's an interesting market. It's an interesting market. Now I did look it up to get games graded. The cheapest option is 150 business days. That's the cheapest. That's the cheapest option.
Well, what's the price? Price wise?
I think it was okay. It wasn't like 150 or something. It was. I thought it was okay, but to get rid of it for 150 business days, I think that's a lot. That's a long time. So yeah, that's what I've been doing.
As long as 150 business days is 150 business days, and it's not, you're buying a 2-week turnaround and it being 150 business days like our friends at PSA.
Well, yeah, that's something. If it was 150, I would appreciate. I mean, I actually know it's 150. I'm not expecting them back in 20 days and then not getting them back. So if 150 is 150, sure. But yeah, I've never done it before, so I need to do more research in grading them because I think that's a real opportunity, looking at how much they're going. But yeah.
What do you think of this, Vincent? On-ball autos. Pedro's got it in the chat with certificates. He says they're the shit. He's got a Cristiano Ronaldo Teal Portugal ball for $600.
I don't know about these. I'm not familiar with the market, so. Is it cool? Sure, it can be if it's like encased in some kind of plastic or whatever. Sure. But I don't know, because I used to be like when I was smaller. I used to be like I'm not sure how you call a ball boy, like the guys who stand on the pitch throwing the balls. And after the games, there were like pre-prepped hand signed balls that they shot in the crowd. So if I'm not sure how much value I would put on something like that, I don't know. Signed
by the player. I just think there's enough nightmare sending cards all around the world, sending balls since like even more so.
I don't know. It could be a nice market. Like it's the shirts, you have balls, you have cards. It's endless.
Some people do have some nice like match ball collections though. I saw one on Instagram a few days ago. Oh, it was pretty cool.
Oh, see, my mate Luke is into it. It's in a case. It's protected. Yeah, if it's in a case and protected, it can be a very nice display piece.
Yeah, definitely.
I like it. Dan, I mean, you're spending that much on an auto card anyway, so I think that's pretty good. I personally have been selling a lot lately. I've been getting some really, really good prices on a lot of cards.
Do you have anything? Do you have anything left? I swear for the last month you just been telling me you're selling everything.
Well, that's
the clearance sale.
I'm on a bit of a tear in terms of selling at the moment. I'm putting a lot of things up. Just consolidating. I don't know why. I just feel like it's a good time. I'm looking at a few more PC options in some respects. Like I've made the profit, so I'm kind of just investing my original investment or my profits into PC, and I'm just getting my cash back at the moment until I see something else. I'm not seeing a lot. I'm seeing a lot of wax that I think is good, like Inception, for instance. I bought Inception for $600 and now 600 Australian dollars, and now they're up for about 1,300 Australian dollars.
Wow.
When they originally came out on the market, £100. So I'm looking at little opportunities like that rather than buying at the moment. But yeah, I'm not selling all my Juve cards, mate. That's the one thing I'm not selling. Positive. That's the last thing I'm selling. I'd have to be in dire straits. Good stuff, guys. Another fantastic episode of Soccer Card Collective. We'll catch you guys next week. Let us know in DMs what you think of the show, any comments, any improvements we can make. We're always open to that. Otherwise, we will catch you next week. Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Soccer Card Collective on the Double Coverage Media Network. If you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that bell icon to know when we go live. Also, feel free to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Thanks for tuning in. Till next time. Peace.